Welcome to Tutoria, brothers. Alright, let's see what we got. I love tutorials. It's gonna be great. Oh, that's weird. I don't know how I feel about the camera movement. Welcome to the Starsector combat tutorial. This part will go over basics. Wait, is that the... Oh, that's arrow keys. Oh, this is gonna be a great start. Your flagship for this tutorial is a Hammerhead class destroyer. First things first, let's learn how to get moving. By the way, you can pause and unpause the game by pressing space. WASD to accelerate forward and back, and hold C to bring your ship to a halt. Okay, that seems simple enough. Moving the mouse around, you can also use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Okay, simple enough. Not completely brain dead. Basic controls, got it. Ships can strafe sideways. This is particularly useful when you're moving. Blah blah blah. Sure, okay, game. When it said basics, it meant basics. Move towards your mouse pointer while your ship's strafing. Keep an eye. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Does that mean... Oh. Wait. Am I stupid? I feel stupid. Holding shift. Oh, this is gonna be a trip. I have to actually learn. Oh no. Can I even do a proper full circle around this guy without tripping up? We'll call that good progress. Now on to weapons. The Hammerhead's weapons are organized in 3 groups. Press 1, 2, and 3 to switch between groups, and left to fire the group. Assault chain gun? Damage, high explosive, sign me up! Not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting, a boom? But okay. Whee! Ooh, I kind of like that, actually. Ooh. Guided missiles require a target. By default, they'll lock onto the enemy nearest to your cursor when you fire. You can also lock onto a specific enemy to ensure the missiles go after it and to see more information about it. Neat. Hover over and press R to target. Oh my goodness. You can press R to clear the target. Now onto defense. Most ships use shields to defend against incoming damage. The Hammerhead has front-facing shields, but some ships have omnidirectional shields that can be rotated to face threats from any directions. I had to turn on my shields? You're telling me shields aren't on by default? I get the distinct feeling I'm gonna forget that very quickly. Just like I'm gonna forget how to strafe, and that's gonna end in a horrible, horrible chain of events for me. Firing most weapons, except for missiles, generates flux. Your ship has limited flux capacity, and managing what you see on it is the key to survival. I'm gonna get tunnel vision and forget that. Thank you, Tutoria. Fire your assault chain gun for your bed and watch see how the flux goes. Well, I kind of already did that, but you know, I'll do that. Flux from firing these dispots. Almost as quickly as it generated. Different ships and different loadouts spew flux at different rates and can support blah blah. Kind of already got that. Shields generate flux continuously as they're up and generate even more flux every time they absorb damage. So even if you're not taking damage on shields, keep them off. We'll let you put out more firepower. I'm gonna forget that too. Well, let's see how ships hold up under fire. Right click to turn on your shield. Cool. The enemy ship is not firing, but your flux level isn't going down. Flux gained from shields over damage is called hard flux and only dissipates while shields are off. Oh dear heavens. So you can't keep shields up indefinitely while taking damage. Flux gained from firing weapons called soft flux and can dissipate while the shields are up. The notch on the flux indicates your hard flux. Okay. So that's what that is. Turn off your shield, let the flux dissipate. Right click, turn your shields again, and let the enemy keep firing at you. As you can see, it's not good when flux maxes out from your shield's hit. Your ship overloads. When a ship overloads, it can't fire or raise shields, dissipate flux very slowly, but cannot still maneuver normally, made for the overlooked edge. Now that the ship is no longer overloaded, flux is back dissipating at a normal rate. You can also vent flux to dissipate it at double the normal rate. While venting your ship can't fire or use shields, you generally only want to do it when it's safe. Press V to vent. Ooh, I like that particle effect. Probably shouldn't get used to it, but it's probably concerning if I do. Now flanked by a pair of Blaster-class frigates. They're going to start launching missiles at you. Fortunately, these missiles aren't very effective versus well-armored ships. Just sit tight and let them get a few volleys off. Wow, that was kinda sad. It'd be nice to shoot these down. We've got some point defense lasers just for that. But it's almost impossible to manually target all the incoming missiles. Fortunately, you can set any weapon group on auto fire, making weapons identify and attack targets on their own. Press Control 3. Oh dear good. I have to use controls with numbers? What is this, Eve? Know that the lasers switch to targeting the missiles as soon as they launch. Point defense weapons will prioritize targeting missiles. Regular weapons will not target missiles automatically. Each ship also has a special system and active ability it can perform. For the Hammerhead, it's an accelerated ammo feeder that greatly increases the fire rate for ballistic weapons. So you gave me the DACA ship. I approve. Some ship systems have limited uses. Some generate flux. Words, difficult. Some have a cooldown and some use a combination of those. The accelerated ammo feeder must cool down before it can be used again. Press F to activate the accelerated ammo feeder and fire the assault chain guns to see the effects. I like it. Advanced Combat. Welcome to the Advanced Combat tutorial. Let's get started. Your flagship is still the same Hammerhead, but the point defense lasers have been swapped out for ion cannons. More on those later. We've already gained over the basics. Gone. They're the same thing, it's fine. Basics of using weapons in the previous tutorial. Now let's take a look at picking the right weapon for the job. Each weapon deals the damage of a particular damage type. Kinetic weapons deals 200% damage to shields, but only 50% to armor. Since the enemy ship has its shields up, let's start by firing some Sabot missiles at them. They are extremely effective at bringing down shields. Fire enough Sabot for the enemy ships to overload its shields. Beautiful. Great work. Now that the shield is down and overloads the progress, the enemy ship is vulnerable. The next step is to bring down its armor. High explosive damage deals 200% armor, but only 50% to shields. Push your assault chain guns and punch through the armor. Excellent, the enemy ship is taking hull damage now. Let's finish it off. Use the accelerated ammo feeder to deal enough damage. Neat. When a ship is disabled, the explosion deals damage to all nearby ships except for fighters. Lucky bastards. Make sure you're far enough away to avoid damage. About the ship's length should be enough. Wow, that was flashbang. There are two damage types we haven't looked at yet. Fragmentation damage deals only 20% to armor and shields, but usually causes little flux as a high base DPS value, making it effective versus exposed hull or lightly armored, unshielded targets, like missiles and fighters, those little bastards. Energy damage deals 100% of its listed damage to everything. Some weapons also deal EMP damage. Hey, that's 3 types, game. You said there was 2 additional ones, I'm just saying. In addition to those normal damage types. EMP damage does not affect shields, armor, or hull, but it can quickly disable enemy weapons and engines. Oh, that's why, because it's not an actual damage type. Your ion cannons deal lots of EMP damage, and little else. Switch to the ion cannons to disable some of the weapons of the Enforcer. Wow, that is just... Here's the question, can I just turn a little bit and... There we go. Excellent. Now maneuver behind the enemy ship to disable the engines. The ship is now a sitting duck and won't be able to maneuver until the engines turn back on. Non-EMP weapons can also disable engines and weapons, but EMP weapons bypass armor and get the job done faster. Let's take another look at shields. Turn yours on and sit tight for a moment. You'll be attacked with a laser. As you see, your ship is not building up flux despite the shields being under fire. This is because beam weapons generate soft flux when hitting shields. This may make them seem weak, but remember that this flux still needs to be dissipated, leaving that much less flux dissipation to power weapons. Beam weapons are also very effective and need little flux to fire. Wait, huh? I feel like I just became dyslexic there for a moment. Did I understand this correctly? That this flux still needs to be dissipated, leaving that much less flux dissipation to power weapons. Beam weapons also are very effective and need little flux to fire. Huh? I don't... Huh? Anyway, moving on. Ships receive an engine boost, a boost to top speed and maneuverability when their flux level and flux generation are at 0. Turning shields on, even without taking damage, is enough to cancel the bonus. Travel through the nebula in front of your ship. Note how your ship is faster when the shields are down. The engine boost is particularly important for larger ships which have lower top speed. To maintain an engine boost for a ship with auto-firing guns, you can press X to hold fire. Neat. Carriers also need to press Z to pull back their fighters. I'm going to forget that. Congratulations, you've completed the advanced combat tutorial. It's probably a good idea to complete the fleet command tutorial next. Welcome to the Starsector Fleet Command Tutorial. Let's get started. At the start of a battle, you have to decide which ships to deploy. Recovering after a deployment costs supply, so you usually don't want to just deploy everything. If you only have one ship, it deploys automatically. To deploy ships, press the reinforcements button on the top right. Since this is the tutorial and supply costs aren't an issue, let's deploy everything. Good, now let's create some assignments for our ships to carry out. First thing you want to do is capture some objectives, locations especially suited for deployment of nav buoys, sensor arrays, or comm relays. The bonuses these provide are modest, but they add up, especially given that if you don't hold them, the enemy will. Left click on the nav buoy. Select the capture on... That's the capture command. Okay. A nearby period is automatically assigned to the task, and that's the arrow on the map indicates. Neat. To pan the view around, right click and drag, or move the mouse to the edge of the screen. You can toggle the command UI on and off by pressing tab, but don't do that just yet. Creating an assignment costs a command point, but also opens the command channel. While it's open, giving orders is free. You can also manually assign a ship to perform a task. Select one of the other fields. Now right-click on the command relay. An assignment appropriate to your selection and what you right-click on was created. In this case, another capture. You can also assign specific ships to existing assignments by selecting them and right-clicking on the assignment. Now that the orders are locked in, let's unpause and wait for your ships to secure the objectives. You can keep an eye on what ship's doing what, clicking on it and selecting View Video Feed. Sir, I am blind and I can't... there we go. You can exit the feed at any time by pressing Escape. You can also exit the feed by pressing F. Pressing and holding Q will show a quick video feed that only lasts as long as the key is held down. Press Tab to reopen the command UI if necessary, and don't forget to unpause. The tutorial will resume once both objectives are captured. Enemy ships in sight. Let's give a couple of orders to make a battle go smoothly on your side. The enemy cruiser is tough, but relatively harmless. We'd like our ships to focus on the more dangerous enemy first. Select the cruiser. And select Avoid. Now let's order our ships to focus on the enemy destroyer. It's the only target left, so they'll naturally do that anyway, but giving the Eliminate order will also make them more aggressive. Oh yeah, probably can't miss the order being a skull icon. Good, some of the ships in your fleet will now engage the enemy destroyer and the rest will try to hold the objectives, with all avoiding the enemy cruiser. You might have noticed that you are not directly controlling a ship at the moment. This can happen if you don't deploy your flagship or if your flagship is destroyed. Let's transfer command to the hammerhead so that you can pilot yourself and play out the rest of the battle. Select the hammerhead and select the transfer command. Congratulations, you've completed the fleet command tutorial. Feel free to experiment with the assignments to explore the tactical options of the Opera and see if you can win this battle. You can also press escape to leave the tutorial. Well, I'm not one to shy away from blowing something up, so why don't we just go and have some fun?
10 seconds later.
Ramming speed! You know, maybe in hindsight that was a bad idea. Well, I guess that's everything I need to know. I don't need to know anything about the actions, how the system with them works, any of the contracts, how to actually trade, how to actually colonize, how to discover planets. I'm sure I'll figure everything I need out perfectly fine and reasonable, and won't have to resort to tutorials that are 4 years out of date. This'll be fine.